it's a case of forwards against backs in today's major semi-final of the Brisbane Rugby League. With the loss of Chris Close, Redcliffe is certain to concentrate on their strength in the forwards, whilst Souths are expected to use their speedy backline led by Meninga and Askell. Let's look at the two sides. Souths have their best possible team on the field, although Billy Johnston and Brad Sully had to pass fitness tests for ankle injuries before making the side, and they've got the Rothmans medal winner Chris Phelan in the pack. Redcliffe, the big change, of course, in their lineup is the youngster Steve Blakely, who replaces the suspended Chris Close in the centres. Colin Park regains his half-back spot from Greg Oliphant, and Vic Tyre replaces Ian Tiney in the second row. The referee is Stan Scamp. Redcliffe showed the power of their pack when they demolished Easts on the 23rd of August. They outweigh Souths by about 8 kilograms a man, and this is what they hope to do today. Here's their chance. It's Beatson up the middle again. Struggling, trying to get through the tackles. He's over the line. It's a try. What a great try by Arthur Beatson. Although Redcliffe have lost Chris Close, their forwards should pave the way for a strong showing today, and they tell me that young Steve Blakely is a dynamic tackler. Certainly the rest of the side has great confidence in he, Lota Atoy, Trevor Benson and some of the other younger players in their back line. But for me, Souths have that edge in teamwork. They've played in last year's grand final. They've kept the same side together, and I expect their backs to pave the way for victory today. What about you, Dave?
Well, Peter, I think the side that gains and maintains territorial advantage in this match will win it. It's so important, in particular in Redcliffe's case, because if they can drive South back inside their own quarter, hold them down there, it's going to restrict the use of that superior back line that South do have. Also, I think that the South smaller forward pack will find it very difficult to get out of their own quarter against the bigger Redcliffe six. South, on the other hand, if they get good attacking ball, I think they'll find Redcliffe struggling to defend their own goal line. And what should be a terrific match, I think Redcliffe should get up to win it.
Chris Phelan, the 1981 Rothmans medalist, has been doing the work of two men this season in South's lightweight pack. Does he think the weight disadvantage will have any bearing on today's result?
Possibly. In the scrums it does give them a bit of an advantage because the extra power gets them closer to the ball, but we'll have, with being more mobile, that we'll be able to counteract that by getting over and knocking them over quickly.
Tony Obst has been playing A-grade now for 13 years and should know all about experience in finals. How does he think the youngsters in Redcliffe's backline will handle the pressure?
Well, I think the young fella that's come in to take Choppy's place, Chrissy Close, Bleakley's his name, and that's enough for me. He's a top little player. I call him mop up. You know, he runs around in seconds. He's been doing it for the last couple of years, and I think that any Dolphin supporter that's been watching him for the last 2 years wouldn't be deterred one little bit about his replacement.
Stan Scamp, the 43-year-old haulage contractor, has control of this game. He blows the whistle, and there's the first kick. The breeze slightly across behind Redcliffe in the first half. And that's going to be the story today. The little man against the big man. It was arduous against Griffiths. That's about a 2-stone difference in weights, perhaps even 3 stone. And overall, the difference in weights averages out at about 8 to 10 kilograms a man. Chris Phelan, the 1981 Rothmans gold medalist, he's been playing his heart out all season, but he's really going to have his work cut out against this big bruising pack from Redcliffe. In they come again, the Redcliffe tacklers. Lumbie playing it back on the quarter line. For the kick, it goes to Meninga. He's under pressure from Cherry. Cherry's got him. Good defence. So the first psychological blow going to the Magpies. Johnston, arduous. All bad pass. Bruce Askell pulling it down. And Souths must feel a little bit hemmed in at this stage. Meninga, Reardon, put down by Abbott and Colin Part. And that's 6 tackles. So, David, that Redcliffe defence is already evident.
The ideal start for Redcliffe. They got up on the right foot. They've been able to contain South now. If they get some ball here now, Redcliffe could really get moving early. South have been knocked back on every occasion so far. Some very heavy defence.
And the first penalty of the game, and a punch-up's broken out. There's Beatson going toe-to-toe with Chris Phelan. Chris Phelan, a boxing champion in Queensland. Beatson trading blows now with the half-back Sully. They're over the sideline as well. It's all on for young and old now. There's 3 different fights, and this is indicative of the feeling in this game. And something happened there in the front row. Let's have a look at it.
Well, it was expected, I think, that this match could erupt early, and certainly the feelings are running high. Just a simple scrum and a little bit of...
Adrian Higgs threw one to Beatson. Beatson retaliating. That's on the right of screen. Back on the left. Plays settled down just after this, and then Redcliffe opened the scoring with a penalty by Pearce to make it 2-0. And over on the notice that Blakely is lining Astle, and the penalty going South's way against Redcliffe, collapsing the scrum.
Well, Stan Scamp could have certainly taken that penalty either way, because Billy Johnson's the last one up and the Redcliffe biggest six. With that surge of weight, South just couldn't hold them, and it appeared to me that they were the ones to buckle first.
Penalties are going 4-1 to South just as well, because the scrums are going 3-0 the other way. 14 minutes play. The scoreboard tells us Redcliffe lead 2-0. Sully, Lumbey. The ground's had a little bit of moisture on it the last day or so. It's a bit slippery. Sully, arduous. But it's certainly a lot more pleasant to play on for the players than it was. It was very hard. Higgs. Johnson signalling the players to come to the open side. Set move. They're going the blind side with Meninga. Telegraphed it pretty well. Good defence from Holmes and Griffiths. Johnson, Sully, Harry. Good tackle from Benson. Last tackle. Sully. Little chip. Waller. Good way to take the ball if you're not sure where the tackler is. Close to the ground. Nick Waller. His former coach Frank Stanton, who used to coach Manly Warringah, is up in the stands, one of several talent scouts. Chris Holmes, a nice break. Big Tyres left it behind. And it's a penalty for offside.
It'll be interesting to see that one again. There was some doubt.
It was a bit hard to pick it up, wasn't it? Let's have a look at it again on the replay.
Here's Holmes coming on the burst off a Beatson pass, turns the ball back inside to Vic Ty. He was striding through nicely. Now Ty's the man who knocks the ball down, goes to ground there, back over his shoulder, and then coming through to pick the ball up.
I think it was Griffiths, the man who was on the ground.
Yes.
Mal Meninga, who's kicked 39 goals out of 62 during the season, has hit this one well. No mistake about that. 2-2 the score. Yes, one up, one down, and the referee has the final say. He said, yes, it's a goal. Bunny Pearce's restart. We've had 17 minutes of play. This is Gary Thompson. Good strong run. He's gone straight through the tackle of Griffiths. Good play from the youngster, son of a former commentator, Cole Thompson. Phelan. Astle, Sully, Bruce Astle wrapping round. He's lost the ball in the tackle. Picked up by Blakely. Now the Dolphins' chance to attack with Beatson. Ty. Meninga coming at him. Strong tackle. Waller. Wingers taking pressure off the forwards by racking the ball up. Beatson. Obst. Tony Obst copped a pretty nasty one in the face in the brawl. Seems to have recovered okay. Hardy Beatson. There's a classic example of the small man and the big man. Still fell. Holmes has knocked it on. The South's defence in their pack has been tremendous all season. It doesn't matter about the size of the opposition, but it's in the scrums that the weight advantage does tell.
Once again there, incorrect feed, but once again that Redcliffe pack collapsing underneath the power of the Redcliffe six.
Obst. Oh, that's close. Oh, look at that. Half a metre out. Well, this could be difficult passing the ball back from that spot. Easy. South could have dived onto that. Tony Obst. Abbott. Beatson. Looking for a runner. He's found Steve Cherry, one of the strongest backs in Brisbane. Vic Ty. The flying Garbo from the Peninsula, former winger. Peter Griffiths. A bulldozing run for the line. 3 men to pull him down. Harry's indicating he wants a marker there. A wide pass finds Benson. He's stepped 1. Taken well by Meninga. And underneath by Ash Lumbey. Last tackle from Pearce. Beatson. Part. He's made the half break. Oh, there's a try begging. Steve Cherry's bombed it.
Redcliffe may rue that opportunity. Breaks are going to be hard to come by today, and you must capitalise on good little break from Colin Part to slip through the gap. Whilst the pass wasn't ideal, Cherry certainly should have taken the ball.
We can't show you that one again because they could score from here if Redcliffe win the ball. From blind side, Bunny Pearce, yes, Waller! I must be a magician.
Standard practice from a wide pack scrum on that blind side to bring the fullback in, but then Thompson made the mistake of being committed to take Bunny Pearce. I felt he could have held off and watched his own winger Waller. Good work from Colin Part using that blind side. A couple of paces from the base of the scrum. There's Thompson inside where he really wasn't needed. Gave the opening for Mick Waller. Good work from Bunny Pearce to get the ball away, and Waller goes in for the first try.
He may be 34 years old, Bunny Pearce, but he's not a bad player still. Look at that kick. Sets up the try, kicks the goal, and Redcliffe go to a 7-2 lead. Meninga's restart to Pearce. Be interesting to see how Bunny Pearce goes in this final. It's where experience really counts in finals. Obst. That's a monstrous kick. The winger's not at home. And look at it run. He's under pressure from Loder Atoy. Ken Spencer. Round Colin Part. But can't beat Holmes. Meninga doing the forwards work.
Redcliffe sticking to that game plan I suggested, to force South back into their own territory and then get the opportunity for their big pack to wear down the smaller South forwards, and really putting a lot of pressure on South and really not allowing South to get into the rhythm of the play they'd enjoy, which would be open football.
Beautiful pass from Billy Arduous, setting up the break for Lumbey. He's picked up by Vic Tyer's tackle just short of halfway, but that's where South have the advantage, out wide. This is Astill, straight up the centre, he split them. He's got support in Reardon. Reardon's past Pearce. That looked a forward pass, yes. The referee has ruled it went forward. Let's see that again.
Just shows you South don't need too much room to move, and when they do, it was in particular Astill, I felt, who really did well here to hit the ball at his top. There's Johnson turning the ball back inside, and then Astill accelerates to go through about 6 of them, left them standing still. The pass out wide certainly was forward. Mickey Reardon couldn't have any complaints about that, and scrum to pack.
Redcliffe come up with the ball. Good refereeing from Stanscamp in perfect position. Now the scrums are 5-0, and that's to Redcliffe. Reflected on the scoreboard where they lead by 5 points, and we've had 23 minutes play, first half. Peter Griffiths. That's the advantage Souths have out wide. They've got tremendous pace if they can use it. Benson, Beatson, cutting out the youngster. It goes to Pearce, to Loder Atoy. Tackled well by Reardon. Just short of halfway. Beatson. Pass back along the ground, and the referee's whistle had gone for the scrum. It's funny how Artie Beatson seems to bob up all the time. Knows the shortcuts. South's ball, first scrum they've won in the game, and Harry throws a shocking pass and they've lost it again. And Cherry's knocked it on. But at least we're not seeing the dropsy we saw last week between Winter Manly and Easts. The error count, Redcliffe 7, Souths 4. Part. Pearce, Benson, Cherry. Well, Steve Blakely, I think he's filling out in the cold at the moment. They won't give him the ball. Tie on halfway. Step Meninga, step Lumbey. Beautiful run from Vicky Ty. He's dropped the ball though. Lost it.
Vic Ty doing his best there just to get the hands free to pick up the supporting player in Abbott, and just as he tried, hit the ground heavily. lost the ball. But Redcliffe making those half breaks. And South, whose defence certainly is the best defensive record of any team in the competition, Redcliffe finding a few gaps in that defensive pattern.
Well, this time Souths don't squander their possession. They've held it for one tackle. Spencer to play it. Argerous. Hardly the sort of forward you pick early on to ruck the ball up. Neither's Billy Johnston, but he's just about split them. No support. He looked to the left, he looked to the right, and no one was there. Phelan. Just over halfway. Sully. Lumbey. Great tackle. There's Steve Cherry. South look like Brown's cows in their attack at the moment. They're all standing round in a big huddle with no apparent organisation.
Very big tackles going in there from Redcliffe, and there's one of the men who's putting them in, Peter Griffiths, one of the bigger men, especially up around the shoulders and arms. Very powerful man.
Once again, they're like two ostriches with their heads in the sand, but the referee's allowed that to go. Benson. Part. Holmes. Obst. Well, Redcliffe certainly are playing at the forwards at this stage, as was predicted, and it's working. Beatson, Part. I don't think Blakely's touched the ball except to drop it once. Beatson. Griffiths. Bad misunderstanding between Part and Benson, but Benson's got it.
Both sides looking disorganised just at this passage of play. They both want to get their acts together because it only takes just a half gap and a half opportunity for either side to capitalise.
It's a curious sort of lull. There's no purpose apparent in either team. All they need is a good determined run. Colin Part almost making it. Holmes. Bunny Pearce. That's Blakely. Obst. Beatson. Almost a forward pass. Very close. Griffiths. He's looking for some support but couldn't find him. Steve Blakely at dummy half. Beatson. Vic Tye. Good tackle. It's Chris Phelan underneath. One to go. Obst putting up the bomb. It's not a bad one either. Those players should be offside, I think. Taken by Spencer. It's a try.
A fair try. Tony Obst had plenty of time to put the ball in the air. South held off him, and it was an obvious tactic for Obst to put the ball up.
It was touched in flight, I think.
Certainly,
watch the kick. I think it might have been touched. That's why they weren't offside.
Here's Tony Obst. There we go. I'd say, Peter, everyone was onside. And there goes Spencer up for the ball. Waller playing the ball. Spencer loses it. Bunny Pearce on the spot and goes across for a fair try.
So Bunny Pearce scores the second try for Redcliffe. They have a lead of 10-2, and now it's 12-2. So Bunny Pearce scoring all of the points except the try by Mick Waller. So experience really proving the vital factor at this stage, and also possession. At this stage, the scrums are 8-2 Redcliffe's way. Waller, very experienced player himself too, played in Manly Warringah, that is. Abbott. Although when you look at it, Souths did play in the grand final last year. They know what it's all about. Good kick by Obst. Spencer running back. He's got plenty of room to move. And beautifully done. He's left two players on the deck, but Vic Tye's barreled him. Thompson. Sully. Higgs. Sully. Harry. It's the quarter line. Sally trying for the gap but couldn't find it. Bobby Abbott was round his ankles. Lumbey. Meninga. Cherry trying to pressure the kick, but he still gets it away. McWaller, letting it bounce, but it's safe. Just short of halfway. 12-2 the score. Redcliffe lead. Holmes. Part. Tie. Griffiths, Beatson, Trevor Benson. Holmes. Good passage of play by the Dolphins, holding the ball for 6.
Yeah, Redcliffe doing it very professionally at the moment, not really giving South a look in. South haven't been in a good attacking position for any great length of time. Redcliffe have controlled the match so far, and of course the scrum possession of 8-2 has gone a long way to ensure that.
Even though South looked like winning the strike then, Redcliffe just pushed them off it. Colin Part, he's waiting, he's found later a toy. This fella's dynamite if he's given a bit of room. Now a quick play the ball is what they need. They've got it, but Holmes has fallen. Beatson calling for it coming from the left wing. He's into the play. There's his pass. It's a shocker. It's knocked on, so we'll have a scrum. A little bit too late, I think, that call by Artie.
And Beatson saying, well, look, you get there. He said, I'll do the running if I get a few players to support. And really, he didn't have too many in support that time, but an ill-advised pass at the same time.
This Redcliffe pack playing all over Souths at the moment. We'll have that in again. Penalties of 5-2 to Souths. Scrums 9-2 to Redcliffe. And Sully has got that one. He's got to go in ferreting for it. Reardon.
I think the South second rowers were that surprised to see it in the second row. They weren't even striking for it. And
penalty against Chris Holmes. Not retreating in the play the ball. It's a big kick from Meninga. A good gain of about 32 metres.
South must strike back now. 6 minutes to go before the half-time break, and it's so important. They're down 10 points. They must get back in and score a try.
Johnston. Daryl Higgs. A dummy to one. It finds Phelan. Phelan's halfway through the gap. Back to Billy Johnston. Well tackled and well obstructed by Chris Holmes. Put himself in the way of the pass. Phelan. Johnston. They're all standing still. Higgs. Argyros. Need a bit of drive and thrust up the middle. Sully. Harry. Spencer. Good defence from Blakely. That's what he's known for, with help from Cherry. Meninga. Thompson. Sully. Adrian Higgs. Phelan. Oh, good tackle, Tony Obst. That's the sort that sets a team back on its heels. Sully. He's found Daryl Higgs. Goes off the hand of Astle. Reardon. Back to Sully. Here's the chance. Lumbey. He's got away from Big Ty. Starting to power through the gap, but it closed. And that's 6 tackles.
Well, South can keep that sort of form up with keeping the ball alive. They'll certainly stretch Redcliffe. Redcliffe having heaps of problems there and being able to maintain that straight line. And, of course, they've got the more experienced players and the ones that will be feeling the pinch as the match wears on.
What do you think the referee is saying to Arthur Beatson there?
Possibly an indiscretion that Artie may have incurred in one of those tackles.
Souths have won this one. Harry. He's got Meninga outside if he can get the ball to him, but he can't. He's their match winner. Phelan. The run around by Billy Johnston. Out to Daryl Higgs. Tony Obst there to save the day. Over the top. Sully, a switch of play. Harry, Meninga, bad pass. Thompson. Those red and white jerseys are swarming all over South. Meninga. He's going to have a go. Oh, that's a high tackle by Beatson. That'll be a penalty.
Certainly a high tackle from Beatson. Meninga, I don't think, is in real problems. It looks like he's got 10 minutes for his trouble, though. There goes Meninga charging up the middle. There's Beatson high above the shoulders. A head-high tackle, and Beatson's been sent to the sin bin for 10 minutes. Astute use of the sin bin by Stan Scamp, and there goes Artie on his long walk.
In the first round, Beatson was also sent off in the 28th minute when the score was 5-all, and in that match Redcliffe won 22 points to 13. That's quite significant, I think. Redcliffe can sometimes rise to the occasion even without Arthur Beatson.
They have done every time this year, Peter, haven't they? When they've been down, one man down, the experience of the Redcliffe side, something that just they need, it seems, to spur them on to bigger efforts. But boy, this next 3 minutes or so very important now.
This is the man to lead them, Tony Obst. Meninga. Here he goes again. He's been fired up a bit by that. Astle, Sully, Harry, Argyris, good pass, Spencer, he's lost it.
Spencer went too far then, the ball was on the outside, and he elected to take the tackle and was knocked heavily. South back in possession.
Sully making a good bust. Bad luck for South, they're just really starting to hit their straps. The first time that one senses that they've got a bit more fire in their game. Can they win this scrum? It's Redcliffe's feed. And a penalty to South. Incorrect feed.
Colin Part couldn't afford to lose that scrum there. He had to have a go. If, of course, a differential penalty, South can't kick for goal. But Part had to have a go there. They're one man down at the base of the scrum with a very wide blind like that. I think if South had won that ball, Redcliffe would have been very hard pressed to hold them out. Now they can set their defensive line. They're in good position, and they can certainly get well organised.
Here's the set move again. Look at Bruce Harry in behind, but it doesn't go to him. It goes to Phelan. Tackled by Obston Griffiths, 9 and 13. Sully, Harry. He's looking for Meninga, who didn't seem to want it that time. He held onto it, Harry. Good tackle from Benson. Lumbey. Round the legs is Abbott. Sully. Harry. There's a big gap out wide. Thompson. Good work from McWallah. Sully. Still working the blind side from Phelan to Sully. Meninga. Bad pass. It's anybody's. Harry. Six tackles. But all the pressure with South in the dying minutes of this first half. It's right on half-time. There we are. And the referee will blow the whistle. The team's going off with Redcliffe having a 10-point lead. So Arthur Beatson still has 7 minutes to serve in the sin bin in the second half, but with the score 12-2 in their favour, leading in the scrums 9-4, despite a penalty count of 8-2 against them, I still think Redcliffe have this game in hand, Dave.
Peter, Redcliffe, in my opinion, have played it to perfection so far. They've kicked very well. They've closed South right out of the game. But South's possession, that's been their major problem. They haven't got possession from the scrums. If they can get some more possession from the scrums, even use Chris Sawley in the second half with a little bit more weight, I think they could cause some more problems to Redcliffe, such as they did in the latter parts of that first half. Redcliffe enjoying a 10-point lead, and I think that'll be enough to see out the game for them.
Bright sunshine and no breeze for the start of the second half. It goes from Meninga through the hands of Part and picked up by the star of the first half, really, for the Dolphins, Bunny Pearce. He's been very solid. He's kicked 3 out of 3 and scored a try and set up the other one. And when you think about it, Bunny Pearce was almost dropped from this Redcliffe side. Big time. What sort of tactics would you use, Dave, if you're South, to try and get back into the game?
Well, I think the main thing that McCarthy must have concentrated on in the dressing room at half-time was what was going wrong in the scrums, what they could do about it, because I think their attack is good enough to handle the Redcliffe defensive pattern, but they're just not getting enough ball to be able to exploit that attack. On the other hand, Redcliffe, their half-time tactic would have, I think, certainly covered the fact that they're going to be without Beatson for this first 7 minutes, so they must control the ball. They did it well then. They took it up for 6.
Second successive scrum win to South. No, the referee wants it in again. We'll keep tabs on these scrums while Beatson's off the field and just compare. There's a penalty to South. Loose arm. So Bobby Abbott was trying to sneak one away there, and Stan Scamp was onto him. Just inside Redcliffe territory. Goes to Reardon. Put by Obst. Phelan. Oh, that's shocking misunderstanding. Chris Phelan taking his mouthguard out to let Billy Johnson know what he thought of him. Pearce. Tart. Benson. Blakely. Artoy. Blakely. Hart. Ty. Holmes has lost the ball. It's gone behind him. Still Redcliffe's. Playing it back to Benson. Last tackle. And the kick by Tony Obst is sailing out on the full. Let's go back to the early games today. The major semi-finals in third grade. North's 10 defeated Valley's 3. Valleys were minor premiers. North's through to the grand final, and Valleys meet Redcliffe next week in third grade. In reserve grade, Redcliffe, the minor premiers, defeated East 19 points to 6. Sweet revenge for their loss in the last round of fixtures, which spoiled their undefeated record. In reserve grade next week, Souths play Easts. And the loser of this game in A grade will play winner Manly in the preliminary final of A grade next week. Waller. Peter Griffiths, and Souths are well up inside the 5 metres. Bunny Pearce from 40 metres. It's low. Is it long enough? Yes. What a great game he's having. 14 points to 2. In the play the ball. And Peter Griffiths thinks it's a great joke. He's got the penalty.
Peter Lease warming up on the sideline. It seems that Redcliffe are about to make a replacement. I feel that's what McCarthy should be looking to do too. There's 24 minutes to go in the match. They're down by 12 points. They need something there to just add a little bit more than what they've got at the moment. And they've got a whole heap of fresh reserves sitting there on the sideline to utilise.
Peter Lease scored a very good try in the reserve grade semi-final. There he is in number 20 jersey. He's going off the field, but he did score 4 tries in Redcliffe's first round win over Souths when Arthur Beatson was sent off the field. This could be a psychological move, because Peter Lease certainly would rise to the occasion, but he's not on the field. Arthur Beatson's got a penalty. He's happy about it, even though he's scowling. Redcliffe lead 14 points to 2. 17 minutes gone, second half, and another penalty.
Penalty there for South being inside the 10 metres. They must wait until the ball's been tapped before they move, and the touch judge is the man that stands on that 10 metres, and he can be seen to wave his flag to indicate to the referee that players are encroaching on that 10.
Obst kick. We're 10 metres inside South territory. That's Vic Ty. The referee going charging in to get him up. Griffiths. It's the first time I've really seen Griffiths upended properly. Takes 2 men to do it. Park. A flashing run from Part to the blind side, but without that tremendous speed off the mark he used to have early season. Beatson's calling for it, but Griffiths takes it up from dummy half, and that's the way to drive him back.
Penalty.
That's a penalty to Redcliffe. Thompson. Bunny Pearce has kicked a penalty from 30 metres out to give Redcliffe a lead of 16-2 with 20 minutes to go. And this is Meninga on the burst. Could be a little bit too late. Pearce has kicked 5 out of 5 today and scored a try. Has done everything right. Harry. Sully. Adrian Higgs, well tackled by Griffiths. Last tackle. Ardress, Harry, cutting out Meninga. Goes to Phelan. He's caught by Atoy. Back to Meninga. Harry. Crunching tackle from Bobby Abbott. And Blakely's got it. Well, all those who made the trip up from the peninsula today have been well rewarded for their team. They're playing good football, and they're proving a lot of people wrong. And here comes the replacement, Ian Tiney, onto the field for Vic Tye. An 18 jersey, packing in the second row. So even more experience in that Redcliffe pack with Ian Tiney. He's a veteran of more than 10 years of A-grade rugby league. Sully. Tackled by Holmes. There's a fight on the ground between two players. Let's get back to the football. It's Lumbey. Two hookers it was. Phelan. Ardress. Sully. Daryl Higgs. Redden to dummy half. Harry. Dodging Tiney. Pushing off Holmes. Pushing off Griffiths. Slipped the pass away to Reardon. He's let it go in the air. And Adrian Higgs has come up with it. Billy Johnson putting it high on the last tackle. Pearce underneath it. He's lost it. And later Atoy's got it. Discretion the better part of valor.
Good work there from Atoy to get back there and help his fullback out, because the ball was certainly a good one. Pearce got under it as best he could, but it's so important there to get players around to pick up any loose ball, because had he not been there, South was still pouring through for the loose one.
The boy from Bougainville has come a long way to play rugby league for Redcliffe. Later Atoy. Playing again next year, apparently, if his bank job keeps him in Brisbane. And Thompson has missed that. He let it go.
Out on the full. A penalty to South right in front, 10 metres out. It'll be interesting to see what Astle does here. 2 points, I would think, no good to them at this stage. He's got to go for the try.
Well judged by Gary Thompson. Temptation is there to take it. Sully. Daryl Higgs taking it up the first time. Billy Johnston. Sully. Phelan. Meninga. By gee, South needs some big forwards. There's no one in there driving up the middle. Billy Johnston is, though. He's over.
Just what South needed, and Billy Johnson ecstatic, and well he might be, because right on his toes there, Billy Johnson, ever alert. Watch this from dummy half. Bad mistake here from the two markers, Obst and Griffiths. There's the dummy. Both markers go the same way, and that gave the gap for Billy Johnson, and he shows some great acceleration there to go through from 5 metres out to cross right under the post.
So Meninga adds the icing on the cake, and it's 16 points to 7. We've had 23 minutes played. What an inspiring player this Billy Johnston is. I recall in the grand final last year, he backed up and scored a good try under the posts. It might be just the incentive that they need.
I think we're going to see a very different South now. They realise that they're in with a chance now at 16-7. They need still to get another try, and fairly quickly, to give themselves a real opportunity to go well. And it looks like two replacements warming up. Good coaching here from McCarthy. Both Tessman and Chris Thorley. Two big forwards. This is when he needs them in the last 15 minutes, and they could just be the players that South need to fight back in this match.
Harry, Astill, Meninga. Good passing. That's Spencer. There's heaps of red jerseys in cover defence, though. Cherry getting there first. Daryl Higgs. Back to brother Adrian. Sully, Harry, Astill, Meninga, Reardon. And Beatson coming in over the top a little bit late. And almost an altercation, but the referee stepping in smartly. First scorers in the game, by the way, number 3 Meninga and number 1 Ian Pearce. Here come the 2 replacements onto the field, but the scrum is already packed. Now the touch judges on the field. The referee should really stop the game. Yes. So Tasman and Thorley are the 2 replacements, both very experienced players. Chris Thorley in particular has played for Brisbane as a halfback 10 years ago. And they're both packing in the front row, it seems. No, we've got Adrian Higgs packing at loose head prop. We'll get across to that in a minute. Harry. That's lost, and it's been snapped up by Blakely, but it's a penalty to South.
Well, a couple of things happened there that were very interesting. First of all, a drive in the South scrum. They pushed Redcliffe off the ball, the first time we've seen it so far in the match, and the South back line straight into operation.
Meninga banging a big one down. That could be a very clever move from Bob McCarthy. Let's wait and see what effect it has on the game. The scrums at this stage are 14-7. That's certainly the department that they need the ball, but that's how they've been losing it. Ian Tiney snapping up a lost ball from Adrian Higgs. Beatson. Beatson, is he hurt or is he acting? That's the question. Sometimes without the Beatson you don't know. So Beatson's on his feet again, recovered at 36 years of age. I imagine most of us would be taking a bit of a spell every now and then in the helter-skelter of A-grade rugby league. Tony Obst. And over the top, a willing tackle from Thorley. Part. There's a big gap out wide, but Meninga's stopped it, smothering Benson.
Seems to me Redcliffe tightening things up just that little bit too much. They're playing too safe at the moment, not really running with a lot of purpose and trying to get out of their own quarter. They're playing it very tight, and South, for that reason, keeping Redcliffe inside their own half.
Good strike from Billy Johnson. He's getting a better shove behind him too. Astill taken ball and all by Cherry. 2 converted tries. That's what all the South's players and supporters are thinking right now. That's Brad Tasman. They need 10 points, Souths, to get in front. 16-7 down. 13 minutes to go. Phelan speared into the ground by Griffiths. Thorley. He's lost it. Thank you, says Abbott.
Peter Griffiths has carried on right where he left off in the last couple of games. Some great front-on defence from Griffiths. There's no better front-on tackler in the game at the moment.
Lovely break down the sideline by Trevor Benson. He's got heaps of pace, this young fella. The ANZ Colt of the Year, following in the footsteps of some very fine players in Daryl Brayman, Gary Seaton. Greg Kinescu is another one, Shane Bernarden. And Wally Lewis, of course, who's our ABC radio commentator during this final series. If you the chance to turn on 4QR during the finals, you can hear some interesting comments from Wally, who may well be going down to Sydney, it seems. He's been offered some very lucrative contracts by Sydney clubs. Back to this game. It's Abbott to Griffiths. Abbott. Tiny. Like a ball of India rubber, Ian Tiny. Never seems to get hurt. Beatson. Running like a back. What a beautiful break. Colin Part, they won't catch him. That's a lovely break, and Colin Part sets the seal on the game underneath the posts, but all the marks going to Arthur Beatson.
The magic of Artie, because when he goes, they just can't handle him, South. Was well read here from part 2 because he crossed to the blind side after Abbott wraps around and knew Beetson was coming on the flyer, flat pass. Beetson straightens up and beats Testman pointlessly, as he does Sully, striding out beautifully. The pass served up nicely to Part, who backed up well. There's Bunny Pearce, one of the players in the match for Redcliffe, in position if needed, but Part's got enough pace and plenty of room to bring it right around next to the post, and certainly that should see Redcliffe into the grand final in 2 weeks' time.
3 tries to 1, 19 points to 7. 10 minutes left in the game, and Bunny Pearce, who hasn't missed a kick today, has now got 6 out of 6, and it's 21-7. Well, David Wright's a better judge of football than I am, and in fact a lot of good judges. When I was over in the dressing rooms before the game, Jack Reardon was one well-known commentator who I saw and had a yarn to, and Jack said that he felt the side that was the fitter and more experienced would win the game, and he thought that was Souths. I think most experts around the town were convinced that the loss of Chris Close would be too much of a handicap, but Redcliffe have just proved that you win. The team that has the better forwards wins finals, it seems.
Well, I pondered over it for a long time, I must admit, Peter, just to toss up which side I'd go for. I just felt that Redcliffe could exploit their strengths far easier than what South could their own. And now South have got a problem that they realise now that their smaller forward pack in finals is going to cause problems to them. And of course they've got their reserve grade now playing next week as well. And that's going to mean that players like Thorley and Testman, the only players eligible for reserve grade, may in fact line up in reserve grade, and therefore they'll put out their small pack again.
Good play from Mick Reardon. He's been one of the great tries for South today. Strong and never beaten. That's 6 tackles, so we'll have a scrum. About 35 metres out. Looks like there's an injury there to Reardon. He's a pretty tough nut, is Mick Reardon. He's been playing now for about 9 years in A-grade rugby league, and a bit of a sprained ankle, but he's playing on. Chain passing by the South inside back, sees it go out to Phelan. Lumby. Manly leading Cronulla. Manly could be the dark horses in Sydney too. Great game yesterday on ABC television. Parramatta and Newtown. Don't forget you can see all the Sydney League every Saturday afternoon right through to the final, which is in fact on a Sunday the 27th of September. Thorley. There's a change of tactics, but it's not what they wanted because it went too long.
Brad Testman limping back badly to this scrum, and Mick Reardon by no means fit out here on this right wing. So South have also got their share of injury problems.
Pearce, Holmes, should have let it go. Had 4 men outside him. It's the halfway line. Part. Inside to Tiny. It's Griffiths. This is how you play it tight, as the saying goes. Redcliffe showing their experience, just playing no fancy moves. They're just settling the ball, playing to their strengths. That's Cherry. Abbott. Tiny. They've got heaps of overlap over here. Benson straightening it up. Pearce. Oh, and later a toy got lost. Blakely. Last tackle. Bunny Pearce indicating there to later. That's where I wanted you, mate. On the sideline. Not infield.
South also have their problems now. They come up against a fresh winner Manly next weekend. And winner Manly won't be any easy beats by any means.
Phelan. Yes, I like the look of winner Manly if they can stop dropping the ball and making the mistakes they made last week, but it should be an interesting game next week.
The interesting statistic is that the side that has lost this match, the major semi-final, in the last 9 years has not gone on to play in the grand final.
That is a good one, is that right?
That's correct.
At this stage you'd have to say Redcliffe are strong favourites to take it out for 1981, but still, Meninga.
Ball came infield to Tiny, but the touch judge's flags up. 5 minutes to go. They scored 21 points to 7. We've had tries by Waller, Pearce and Part. Bunny Pearce has kicked 6 goals from 6. And for Souths, a try by Billy Johnston. Meninga has kicked 2 from 4. The penalty count at this stage is 15-8 to Souths. The scrums are 14-9 the other way. What those statistics don't tell you is how the game was played, how the tackles were made, how the players ran, and that's what the difference has been. Redcliffe going much harder, tackling harder, running with more purpose, and scoring 3 tries to 1. Thorley. Harry, dummy to Meninga. Askell. That's anybody's ball, but it's into touch.
Steve Cherry is fast becoming recognised as one of the best defensive centres in the game. He had an exceptionally good game last week in defence, or should I say the week before, and he's certainly showing some great form at this stage of the season.
The Norths and Balmain must be looking for players in Sydney, because both Frank Stanton and Ron Willey are up in the stand looking at the talent on display today. And there's plenty of young, exciting talent here in Brisbane, that's for sure. Griffiths. Here's one fella that's really made an impact in the last round of the competition. Tiny. Part. Obst. Part the run around. Beautiful pass to Chris Holmes. He's into the clear, looking for support. Couldn't find Blakely. But a good break by Holmes. He's lost the ball. Stolen by Spencer. Meninga.
Ken Spencer's been one of South's best players. I thought he had a good game today. He's chimed in nicely whenever required, and certainly he's done everything possible.
Here's a chance for Redden, but he's got that injured ankle. He can't hit top pace. He's got Thompson backing him up. Dummied one. Toys knocked him down from behind. Good tackle. He chased his man right across the field. Thompson, Sully, Harry, Thorley. A long pass, and it's hit by Meninga. He should score from here. Only Waller to beat. Yes, he's done that. And there's the second try for South coming up. Bunny Pearce almost stopping him planting the ball, but he got it down.
Well, a consolation try for South with only a couple of minutes to go, but Thorley throwing a couple of long passes to create the overlaps, and he's been just the variety that South have needed. Here's Sully just taking a couple of paces to keep the Redcliffe defence in the middle. Here's the long pass by Thorley, took the chance, hit Meninga pretty well, and then Meninga steps out and around Colin Part, beats him fairly simply, and then it surprises me that he really decides to take on Bunny Pearce. He really crashes into Pearce and then goes across for the try.
Meninga's kick is flagged away, and so the score remains 21-10. 2 minutes to go. The kick-off taken by Phelan. In Sydney, Manly have beaten Cronulla 14 points to 11. We've only got about a minute or so to go in this game, David. It looks like it's shut the gate. 21 points to 10. Redcliffe lead with about a minute. Your comments on the game?
Worthy winners, Redcliffe. They played it tight and hard, and that's the way you play finals. And they've done it very well. They've done it very professionally. They were cool and calculating, and they had a game plan and they stuck to it. They were going to play South down inside their own territory, and certainly they did that, because Tony Ops in particular in the first half kicked well. Of course, they had that great added advantage of winning the scrums, and their weight advantage was probably the major reason there, because once Johnson has had a couple of big props or big forwards in the pack with him, he's been able to win his fair share of ball against Bobby Abbott. But Redcliffe completely dominant in the match, and their best players, Bunny Pearce in particular in the first half, showed his experience. I thought the two centres, Cherry and Blakely, tackled well when required to do so. Trevor Benson served some nice little passes, and of course Arthur Beetson, whenever he was required, he was there on the spot for them and looked exceptionally good. I thought Bobby Abbott and Peter Griffith, of course, once again with some great defence, was one of the best players for Redcliffe.
So Redcliffe straight into the grand final. They've defeated South by 21 points to 10, and proving the old adage that the good big man will beat the good little man.
The ABC Winfield Try Award of $100 goes to the old warhorse, Artie Beetson. He burst through the line in top gear to set up this try for Colin Part, a try that sealed the grand final spot for the Dolphins.
Like a ball of India rubber, Ian Tiny. Never seems to get hurt. Beetson running like a back. What a beautiful break. Colin Part, they won't catch him. That's a lovely break, and Colin Part sets the seal on the game underneath the posts, but all the marks going to Arthur Beetson.